It is Saturday, May 20th, and we have almost ripe tomatoes. These are on the Better Boy plant, one of the Better Boy plants, and getting close to picking time. Just sharing. I'm going to show you the other one that's almost ready. Back in a second. Here's one of the other Better Boys. About ready to pick. I'm going to have to start getting a loaf of bread ready. Gonna have to make some bread for the first tomato sandwich of the season. Alright, this is another Better Boy, and I'm going to show you some Romas that are starting to turn. I'll be back in a second. Hang on. Okay, and here are the first Romas I found showing any color at all. Just kind of in the middle of the row at the bottom. They're about to get ready. Showing a little color. And these things are hanging like grapes. And they're so pretty and they're everywhere. There's a real big cluster. Here's some. Check these guys. Still a few aphids, but not near as many. But everywhere there's hanging in clusters. Pretty fun. Pretty little garden spider. Built a web in the tomatoes. These are our rows where we haven't put down any mulch, any covering, hay, or leaves yet. And you can see how weedy this is getting. Chore for this weekend is to weed this out good and then lay down hay. But you can see how quickly the weeds take over if you don't have any covering. There's more over here. Cabbage! Starting to head. That's a healthy, pretty looking cabbage. Anyway, again, weeds everywhere. Grass growing up. Grass getting deep over here as compared to the other side of the garden. I'll walk around and show you. Over here, a little bit of weeds where the hay isn't, but everywhere else we laid down grass clippings and hay. Very, very, very few weeds. They start to poke up a little, but we generally just go put some more hay on top of them. We're mulching, building soil, and stopping weeds at the same time. But dramatic difference where we have the hay and where we don't have the hay, and how many weeds there are. This is the garden bed that was a compost pile last year that we showed those enormous peppers growing in last year. But right now we kind of have just a mixed bag of stuff growing in it. We've got these white Kennebec potatoes that are ready to dig. We still have this huge mammoth red Russian kale plant. And I just wanted to get some dimension on it. Let's see. This is a yardstick. They put this yardstick in the middle. It's almost a yard. It's almost 3 feet tall. Probably about, 32 inches tall. This plant is huge. One of the leaves, 12 inches across, almost. They're, 14, 15 inches long. Just great big, huge leaves. So we're determined not to waste this. So we're going to pick all the leaves. And I'm going to freeze this guy today. Put him in the freezer, just so he's not wasted. But we need to clean out this bed so we can plant our okra. And we have curly kale growing here as well. These plants are huge and beautiful too. Try to put the yardstick out by it. They're not near as big as the red Russian, but it's still a nice, impressive plant. They grow so well in this compost bed, so I'm hoping it's going to do the same thing for our okra. Anyway, we're about to pick all this kale and get it ready to freeze. And then we're going to, I'm not sure what we're going to do with this rambling tomato, but we're going to dig our potatoes, freeze the kale, and basically just generally clean this up so we can plant our okra. And we'll show you what we get as we go along. Thanks. We also have, in addition to the white Kennebec potatoes in that compost bed, we also have hills of them on this side of the garden. So there's a mound here, here, and 2 more down this way. So we're about to dig all of our potatoes. We have white Kennebecs kind of scattered everywhere. So we're going to dig all of our potatoes today. And I'll show you what we get as we get it. And Al's going in, so I'm going to go ahead and film. Woo! No, there's one. Oh, that's a pretty one. Pretty, pretty. Oh, there's one. Oh, look. Oh, look at the worm. Look at all the freaking worms. Wow. Oh, look. Y'all better run. Robins. Y'all, it is funny. Robins sit and watch us when we come out and work in the garden, and they wait for us to turn the earth over, and then they pounce on it as soon as we walk away. It's pretty funny. Shoot, look at all the babies. I wonder if we ought to leave it longer. Oh, you brought the wheelbarrow to put the vines in? Okay. Put the vines over in our tiny little compost area, because usually we just broadcast or put everything all over the garden. All right, going in again. Woohoo! Taters! Oh, look. These are doing well. I never really thought we'd get a lot over here because it's so shady over here, but pretty fun. Golly at the worms. Look at them. Holy cow, look at them. Dadgum. Talk about some good dirt. Oh, nope, he's still intact. All of you get to live. None of you got chopped. Check. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off. Oh, look at the potatoes. I'm going to turn the camera off as we harvest the potatoes, and I'll come back and show you what we get out of it. Oyster shell? Interesting. All right, worms, y'all better hide.
3 plants?
3 plants, yeah. Okay, so 3 plants in this hill, and we got, that's not bad. That's a decent little harvest off of 3 plants. All right, we'll come back and I'll tell you how many plants we harvested from and what we got from it. All right, thanks. Okay, we just dug our potatoes out of this hill, and there was a few little weeds, so you turn them over in there. It gives the worms something to eat, and now this hill, this just piled up leaves and compost, and now we've dug the potatoes out, and it's beautiful and ready to go. This is either going to be a squash mound or a melon mound. We haven't decided yet, but we're going to plant either squash or melon here pretty much as soon as we get finished digging the potatoes. So, we'll let you know. Thanks. These beds, these mounds that we're getting these potatoes out of were nothing last year except our okra plants. After they finished making okra, we chopped them up and piled them up down here. We raked leaves as they fell on top of it. Maybe some grass clippings. It's just piles of junk from the yard that we mounded up, and they rotted down, and then we planted in. And now we've got good, rich, black dirt from what was just garden junk last year, and we're getting potatoes out of it. So and this area of the garden is the shadiest part of the garden. It gets very little sun, so we're going to show you what we get. We have a little bit more to dig. We've got this pile, this mound, and this mound to dig, and we'll show you what we got off of just this shady area, and then we'll show you what we got out of the sunny area over there where the kale is. There's the seed potato, rotten and mushy. Did its job. Now we're going to let the worms have him. Chicken bones. Until we put some chicken dirt out here. Chickens love to eat some chicken. Look at all these worms. Al's just turning over this pile where we just dug. Just taking pictures while he's turning it. Pretty fun to watch the worms pop out. Again, this is just leaves from last year, grass clippings from last year, a little chicken dirt thrown in, some quail dirt. Okay, this is off of 16 plants. We got 11.71 pounds of the white Kennebec potatoes, and that was grown over in the shadiest part of the yard. Now, after we pull this kale and get it out of the way, we're going to dig these Kennebecs that are in the sunny part of the yard in the old compost bed and compare the results. Thanks. All right, Alan just pulled that red Russian kale, and this is it. Look how massive. Showing the roots. Look at the plant. Good night. All right, we're going to pull every usable leaf off this guy and freeze it. Wow, that's gigantic. Alright, Al just pulled the curly kale. We're going to do the same thing with it. It's so beautiful. It hurts my feelings to pick it, but we need the bed. And we have other kale growing in other places. But we're not wasting this. We are going to harvest it all and weigh it and freeze it. So we'll have greens during the summer too. Alright, golly, that's a pretty plant. I mean, that is a pretty plant. Here's the other one. So gorgeous. I mean, look at that. It's just a picture. Gorgeous. Huge. Up to mid-thigh on me. Alright, cool. We are going to get this ready to freeze. Thanks. Hey, this is the red Russian kale. We harvested off those 2 plants pulled out of the compost bed. And we got 2.93 pounds of red Russian kale. And Mr. D likes kale. Hop down, Mr. D. It's not time for you to have a snack. So we got 2.93 pounds of red Russian kale. And we're going to get it ready and freeze it now. Big bucket of kale. Are you so excited to get some kale, Mr. D? Alright, this is that bed that had a huge red Russian kale and the curly kale and the Siberian kale and the white Kennebec potatoes that we're about to dig. And after we pulled the other things out of the way, we discovered several potatoes that have come up and that we didn't have covered, and they are green and you can't eat those. So a couple of them poking up that we didn't see and didn't keep covered. There's 2 there. Let's see. A couple here. So hopefully, oh, there's one right there. Hopefully there's a lot more underground that are covered, but there's a huge one out there. I hate to step on anything and try to get over here to it. This guy sticking up, big one. Green, there's a really green one. You don't eat the green potatoes, guys. Alright, we're going to start, well, let me get back over here and watch Al take his first forkful. Hang on, try not to just trample anything too badly. Where are you going to start? Alright. He's going in on this one. Yeah, just leaves. All this is just piled up leaves. And it grew peppers like mad last year. It still hasn't broken out a lot, but it's growing stuff. Oh, there's some. Oh, here's another one. Alright, cool. Potato. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Okay, I'm going to turn this off and we're going to dig this bed and we'll come back and show you what we got. Thanks. What? Wow, I had to get the camera for this one. Look at all these potatoes off this one plant. Huge. Beautiful. Look at them. Rolling out the sides over here. Hanging off the plant. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Cool. And a worm. Get in here. Ooh. There's one that's grown into the side of the strawberry bed. Uh-oh. Well, oh man. he grew up into the wood of the strawberry bed. I guess he could have used some more room. That's funny. Huh. Guess that looks like about it. Okay, so off of 16 plants planted in the sunny area in that compost bed, this is what we got. And sadly, these are the green ones we had to pull out, but they're supposed to be toxic, so we're not going to eat them. But nice little batch of them. But these are the usable ones, so I'm going to carry them in and weigh them. All right, these potatoes come to 13.12 pounds. So 13 pounds of potatoes off of 16 plants in the sunny area. So not too shabby. Okay, this is the bed where we just dug the white Kennebec potatoes and pulled the kale. And we are getting ready. Alan's taken the okra that we started from seed in these cups and has spaced it where we're going to plant it now. And because we have limited space here in our yard, we kind of have to do things a little differently. Normally you would start okra from seed actually out in the garden, out in the ground, but because we have to kind of we have to time things. Like the potatoes weren't ready to dig and there was no space available in the garden to start okra because something's growing everywhere. So we start things in cups and let it stay as long as possible so we can just maximize our space. So we're getting ready now to plant the okra where we just pulled the potatoes. And this bed again was just a compost bed. And last year when we pulled okra, we chopped it up and stacked it here. When we pulled tomatoes, we stacked the vines here and then just covered it up with chopped leaves, covered it up with grass, and we actually just planted in it at the end of summer before it was broken at all. And it's broken down more now, so hopefully this will really grow okra really, really well. But again, we started in the cups and let it get this big because we were waiting as long as we could to dig those potatoes and harvest that kale. So we kind of just have to work on timing everything since we have limited space to work with. So we've got to make the most of it. All right, we're getting ready to transplant this okra. Back in a minute to show you what it looks like. Okay, these are our sweet potato starts, our sweet potato slips that we started from sweet potatoes we saved from sweet potatoes we harvested last year. We save two of the biggest ones each year to start our own sweet potato slips. And we did a comparison this year. We planted one in soil to start slips, and of course that's this one, and then we did one in water to start our slips, and just wanted to see which worked better for us. And we planted them at the same time, same day, and we left this one outside to start, and this one we had in a window. The one in water we had in a south-facing window. So it may have been warmer. It may have had a greenhouse effect, with the sun coming into that window on this one. But this one definitely produced more slips for us. It's healthier. It has a lot more for us to plant. And this guy's coming on, so we may we'll keep letting it grow, and we may end up planting some from this too. But today we're going to plant some slips from this sweet potato, and we are going to plant some. I'll show you in a second. We're going to plant some under in the patch. Again, what I was just talking about, we have to kind of manage the space we have. So we have some broccoli that's not finished producing. It hasn't really made any big heads yet, but we're still harvesting little florets off of it, and we're not ready to give it up yet. But there's some spaces where sun shines in between the broccoli plants, so we're going to plant these sweet potato slips under the broccoli. And also we're going to plant a couple in this bed we just prepared that we transplanted our okra in. So we're going to plant slips down the middle in between this okra in this bed, and we're going to plant some over under our broccoli. And we figure by the time we're ready to pull the broccoli, then the sweet potatoes will be ready to take off. Right. Oh, and here is a slip we're about to plant. And just has a little bit of a root, and we're going to go ahead and get her in the ground. Okay. All we do, just dig enough to stick her in. Show. And then, sorry, it's hard to do one-handed. Okay. Dig a good little trench, enough to put it in good, and then cover the base. And then we'll water it in really well. And that's all it is to planting sweet potatoes. Alright, we'll plant this, and I'll take you around and show you the other area, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when we're finished. And don't forget, when you plant these things, water them in really, 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 really well. Just checking out our sweet potato we pulled out of the water, and a lot of these have good roots established at the bottom, and we were able to pull them off and get roots on them. But there was one we just pulled that was just growing out of the side right here, out of the side of the potato, and it doesn't have any roots. And you can plant either one of them. Just if you're going to plant, like when we plant this one, we'll pull back a lot of these leaves at the bottom and just stick the stem way down and cover it with the earth, and it'll send roots out. You don't have to have roots on any of it to grow. That little guy, he'll grow out, and he probably won't have roots because he's not down in the water. We'll plant him, but if you can have some with roots, that works great too, but they'll all grow. We were planting sweet potatoes and oops, found some more Irish potatoes we missed. Dang, there's another one. Yay! Cool. Sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes. White Kennebec potatoes everywhere. Worms a hopping. Oh, he's injured. Maybe he'll be okay. There's a little hopper down there digging in. Telling you, I wish I had a camera with a zoom, because I would love to show you what these robins do as soon as Alan and I go in. They go nuts out here. It's like a carnival. And Alan and I were just talking while we were planting the okra. Down on this end, this was just all like tiny oak sticks and limbs and things that fall in our yard. We just stack them up down here and cover them with leaves and grass clippings and other things, and it just turns into dirt. All right, on this guy, you can pull off these lower leaves. One-handed. And just pull it off and just... Oh man, I just found another potato. Dang it. Lay her down, cover her up. Hope I'm not aiming too high. There we go. Alright, and these will be beautiful sweet potatoes. And then last year we did an experiment. After it started running a little bit, we just came and lopped off chunks of what was already growing, stuck it in the ground, and it grew too. So they're pretty foolproof. Look at all these potatoes. Put them with the potatoes. Alright, this is the broccoli bed I was talking about. And we are getting little heads. They're not tight and they're not real well formed, but they're delicious. So we come, and when one gets about this big, we'll probably cut it today. We're talking about we have enough to make a really nice stir fry today. So anyway, we'll harvest this head, but then it'll start sending out the florets, like this guy and this guy over here. This is one of the florets we'll harvest. Here's one that has a head we'll harvest today, and then hopefully it'll start shooting out florets. So we're not willing to cut this down yet, because it's just giving us so much in florets, and they're delicious and wonderful in stir fries and casseroles, and mostly we just eat them in stir fries. But we have peppers nestled under here that probably won't do much until we get this broccoli out of here, because they just don't get enough light. But they're fine. They're sitting there and they're fine until we, are able to get them the light they need. But there's holes in here. Like right there, we're going to stick a sweet potato. There's a hole right through here that gets light. We're going to stick a sweet potato. And again, if they don't take off growing real quick, that's fine. When we are finally, they'll hopefully be establishing roots. And when we finally cut this broccoli down, then it'll be ready to take off and go. That's the plan anyway. We'll see. But see, lots of little heads on this broccoli. You're not willing to cut it down yet. All right. Wanted to show that. We're going to tuck some. Ooh, look at this big one. We're going to tuck some. Here's a good sunny spot. See, the sun just popped out from behind a cloud. Good sunny little spots in here. So we're just going to tuck sweet potatoes in and among the broccoli. All right, back in a little bit. So we pulled all the slips off of this potato, and we'll just stick it back in the window and let it make some more, and we'll plant them when they come out. So far we've planted 1, 2, 3, and 4 sweet potato slips under this broccoli. And again, we don't expect it to take off while it's got all this big broccoli crowd in it. and shading it, but hopefully it'll get some roots established, so then when we pull the broccoli, it'll be good to go. So we planted 4 out here, and we planted 3 slips under the okra. And we'll just kind of see what happens. But we used all the slips we have, but this potato will continue to make them. So we'll just stick it back in the window and keep you updated on sweet potatoes. We're going to water this, and hopefully it's supposed to rain today, so we may wait a little bit and hope it just get a good soaking rain. But if it doesn't rain by this afternoon, I'll water the heck out of it. All right. That's it on the sweet potatoes. Thanks for watching. Okay, picking the first tomatoes of the season. Here goes. Beautiful. All right, tomato sandwich has my name on it. I'll make some bread. Yeah, that one's not quite as beautiful, but it'll eat. Okay, so today's garden harvest. We got 2.93 pounds of red Russian kale. Then we got 3.57 pounds of curly kale. 0.92 pounds of Siberian kale, 0.23 pounds of broccoli, 0.84 pounds of tomatoes, 0.09 pounds of asparagus, 0.26 pounds of sugar snap peas, 6.33 pounds of bush green beans, and the first area we picked was 11.71 pounds of potatoes. The next area was 13.12 for a total of 24.83 pounds of the white Kennebec potatoes. So, not a bad haul. Not a bad haul at all. Alright, I'm fixing to go in and make a stir fry with these sugar snap peas and the broccoli and the asparagus, and pop some green beans in there too. Have us a big nice stir fry for lunch. And I am going to make salad. I decided against my tomato sandwich, I am going to make a salad, since we still have pretty lettuce that we can use. Make a big salad and put some tomato on some salad for next week's school lunches for my last 3 days of the school year. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.